Matt McQuaid here for Sydney Kings TV, and with me is the new Sydney Kings head coach, the icon, the greatest of all time, the one and only Andrew Gaze. Introduction?
I don't know whether you ever called me that when I wasn't the Sydney Kings head coach, but I appreciate the kind words. No, it's an exciting time, and we're looking forward to the challenge. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're digging in, and hopefully we can put together a team that's competitive and both on and off the floor, and one that the community can be really proud of.
You talked about the past, and you've made a habit of tormenting the Sydney Kings. Now, those long-time fans would remember 1992 in particular, that semi-final series, one of the greatest ever. And obviously the Tigers beat the Kings in 06 and 08, denying us championships. So you've sort of come full circle now. I mean, is it a matter of coming to the enemy side, I guess?
No, I don't see it that way. I think that the landscape's changed a lot since then. The Melbourne Tigers are still running around, and I'm still involved at the SCABL level, but they play in a different competition now. So it's a little different. But you think back to that '92 game. That was one of the most memorable games in my life, and it's something that we're trying to build, to get that passion from the fans on a nightly basis, because that's just a special environment for the players to play in, and I think the fans enjoy it as well. So it's not easy. You've got to be very good, and it takes time. But hopefully we can build a program that ultimately is one that can compete on a yearly basis for a title.
And obviously the other big news today, the signing of Kevin Lisch, league MVP. Has won 2 MVPs actually, which your name adorns the Andrew Gaze Trophy in the National Basketball League. How huge was that a signing for the team and even for the sport in general, to get such a quality player, quality individual into the program?
No, it's fantastic, and the other benefit to Kevin as well is that he's just become an Australian citizen, so it doesn't impact on our import potentials as well. So it's an unbelievable coup. I'd love to be able to lay claim to it, but I've got to give credit to Jeff Van Groningen and Harvey Lister. They were responsible for the recruiting of Kevin, and I'm so glad they did. He's an outstanding individual, an unbelievable player, and he's one that I think that we're looking for the long term to be a franchise and marquee player for this organisation, both on and off the floor. He's got great family values, a good community man, and he's certainly one that, regardless of what happens on the floor, he's a quality person off the floor, and absolutely delighted to have him part of the team.
And Kevin's obviously a phenomenal start, but in building the team, and you have a lot of positions to fill. Now, only three players now contracted on the roster. What sort of team do you want to build, and what's your philosophy going to be in how you approach the game?
Well, it starts certainly with talent, but not at the expense of the character of the individuals. It's going to be a tough challenge to turn a program around that unfortunately had a tough year last year, and a lot of that was through no fault of their own. Just incredible injuries to a couple of marquee players, and Julian Kazoo was one of those, and he is a superstar of the competition. He's coming off an injury, so we need to get him healthy, and he's going to be a very, very pivotal part of our program. And then really a lot depends on the players we're able to recruit. We've got to have team balance. We've got to make sure that we've got the balance between offense and defense, and also the way in which we want to play is that to have the versatility. The three-point shot is just pivotal to the sport throughout the world right now, and we see that in the extreme of what you see with the Golden State Warriors.
Sure.
And it's fun, and I think that going back to the way we used to play when I was playing, it's about moving the man, moving the ball, a lot of ball movement, having a system to create shots rather than just exclusively relying on individual talent to get shots and good shots. So it's our system is not rocket science. It's not something that's going to revolutionise the sport, but it's about getting players to develop good habits and being able to execute at the right times, and understanding the context of the game, and working together. And if we can do all those things, we'll figure out a way to put in place a plan that gives them the best chance to have success.
And just to follow on from the Sydney-Melbourne rivalry, you've come to the most beautiful city and harbour in the world.
It is beautiful.
You're going to really annoy those many Melbourne fans, I'm sure, that are shocked that you came up to Sydney. But yeah, what are your feelings in the family and how they're feeling about coming up?
No, I think most of the Melbourne fans are probably relieved, because for me to pursue a coaching career that excluded me from the Melbourne Tigers would have meant having to go overseas. And I didn't want to do that, because the Melbourne Tigers have had an incredible impact on my life, and it's one that I'm indebted to them for the rest of my life. I'd have to live 100 lives to repay them for the opportunities that they've given to me. So this is a great situation where the Kings recognise that responsibility that I have, and we're working collaboratively to make sure that I can fulfil those obligations. And they're fortunate that the Tigers play in the off-season, so I can contribute in some capacity to ensure that they continue with their goals and work with the Kings. And I think there's a lot of ways in which we can collaborate to help both organisations out. It's a high level of competition in the SEABL, and maybe it's something that we can also utilise to get player opportunities to develop their skills, those types of things. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think most Melbourne Tigers fans I'm certainly the biggest fan. That is my dad, and my wife, and my kids. That they're certainly happy with the choices that I've made.
And just finally, I guess one for the fans. You talked about last season. In actual fact, it's probably been the last 6 seasons that have been pretty difficult for the club, and it's fair to say the team has struggled on the court. What's your message to the many Kings fans that are, kind of been waiting for this team to get to another level and be the force that they were, obviously under Brian Gorge, and even going further back the days of Dwayne McLean, who you played against, and Leon Trimmingham, and all of that, getting that excitement back. I mean, what's your message to the fans?
Well, the message is that there's a new ownership in place and a new management that are dedicated and committed to putting the best possible team on the floor. They're throwing incredible resources at that. We're going to play in possibly the best venue in the country, in All Farms Arena. So the fans are going to have hopefully a great team to follow, but also an unbelievable game experience. Harvey Lister has great experience in facility management and the entertainment industry, and Jeff Van Groningen is, he put together a championship winning team at Brisbane. So they don't want to hear the word patience, because I'm sure that their patience has been tested. But it may take some time, but hopefully they'll buy into the process that we've got to go through to develop a foundation that's not just going to provide success in the short term, but it's also about providing success in the long term. And sometimes that takes time, but there's no doubt that the management group here and the organisation are committed to trying to put a team that can win the title immediately. Now, whether that's achievable or not remains to be seen, but they are absolutely dedicated to that task, and hopefully our fans can come along for the journey and share in the highs and lows and the experiences that we're going to have to endure over the next 2 or 3 years to get this team to something that we can be proud of, both on and off the court.
Well, on behalf of all Sydney Kings fans and supporters, members, we welcome you to the Sydney Kings. Andrew Gaze is a Sydney King, ladies and gentlemen. I never thought I'd say it.
Good on you, man.